Welcome to Neon Cobra. Let's kick into it. Going to talk about something actually a little bit different this time, although it's in line with my cost management section. We're going to talk about common resources that often get overlooked and really start adding up to additional costs and expenditures month over month. One of the biggest offenders and one of the biggest ones I see is actually managed disks that no longer have owners assigned to them. If you go into your Azure instances right now and search for disks at the top, you can sort columns by owner and you may very well find disks with nothing assigned to it. These could be anything from maybe a virtual machine didn't have the delete all attached resources. Perhaps it was a recovered backup drive that maybe is no longer needed. Maybe it's actually a valuable drive from maybe a compromised instance at an earlier date that hasn't been purged. But more often than not, we'll find that, they just get left behind. And because you get to see all the resources in the environments, they get overlooked. Thing is, disks cost the same amount of money, whether they're attached or not. So one of the biggest things we usually find when we go into partner environments together, we find a bunch of the disks are just sitting there doing nothing. So I would jump into that, take a look, assess what you have under the ownership column and potentially purge some of those items. The second thing that often gets overlooked, and it's very much like a death by 1,000 cuts, is going to be your public IP addressing. The same thing applies. A lot of services get spun up, whether it's Bastion services, whether it's going to be things like old golden images for your AVDs, virtual machines that might be deprecated. Sometimes the IP addresses don't get removed. If they're standard, they're about $5 Canadian a month, right? And they spin up very, very quickly. So you could have a dozen in there that you're paying for needlessly. So little things like that, just going in to make sure you don't have any orphaned resources. My previous videos on the cost management side is really great to kind of find the high buckets that might be dinging you month over month. But this is a way to dive into maybe, the death by 1,000 cuts that we want to avoid. Hopefully this was helpful. We'll catch you next time.